Howdy y'all, welcome back. Today we are back to play Will a Wonderful World since I didn't get to it yesterday on Monday. Also, today, this morning, my time at least, I released a new cover song. I covered The Vampire by Deco27, which at this point is like a cliche song for VTubers to sing at this point, but I wanted to sing it myself, so I hope y'all will check it out and listen to it and let me know if y'all enjoy it. I enjoyed singing it and I think it turned out pretty well. Yeah, so that's that. Also, last time in the game, we left off with Li Wen and Wen Zhaozhen, right? Li Wen and Wen Zhaozhen, the teacher. They reunited. Li Wen, for some reason, was going to the, I think it was the mountain that he was telling her about, and she got caught up in a rainstorm, and we made it so that he showed up to save her from falling off a cliff to her death. So, yeah, we finally figured out how to progress past that dead end that we got, like that 3-year time skip, where she's basically depressed. So, let's turn the desktop audio. Still this music. This solemn music. No. I actually don't know what will happen if we continue from save data. Okay. We have Wen Zhaozhen, Jimmy. I don't remember how to fix that. Yeah. Okay, well. The rain kept pouring down, with no sign of stopping at any time soon. I carried Li Wen on my back to the ranger's cabin on the top of the hill. She had already fallen asleep. Due to the danger of a potential landslide, the park rangers had evacuated earlier. I laid her down on the only bed in the cabin and tried to cover her up with some sheets. Yet, I noticed something strange. I felt her forehead. It was a little too warm. Fortunately for us, there was some medicine and a few bottles of water in the cabinets. I tried to get her to take the pills. She leaned on my shoulder and mumbled half-consciously in her dream. And then I heard her say, "Father." I walked to the door and sat on the steps while staring at the rain. I planned to travel to some new place where no one would know me and spend my final days there. I even asked Yang Ying to watch over this kid on my behalf. I thought I could let this all go, yet the gods had made me run into her again here. God, haven't you toyed with me enough? When will you stop? Yang Ying had mentioned that Li Wen's father was a painter, and that he had passed away due to a heart problem. He sounded just like me. Was that why she had been so close to me? Yeah, I mean, it seems that she's really attached to you because you remind her a lot of your father. Of her father, but also I don't think she just has a fatherly daughterly attachment to you. I don't know. I don't think she just sees her father in you. I think she's also romantically interested in you. So what about how I felt about her? Ever since she had first come into my life, I've been paying extra attention to her. Also, I just realized the game's in full screen, so I can't see the chat. So let me go get my phone so I can pull up the chat. Oh. My phone was right here at my desk the whole time. Okay. At first, I thought it was just out of curiosity, but lately, that feeling seemed to have evolved in some way. When I had been into the hospital, I would often catch myself thinking about her without realizing it. I kept telling myself that it would never happen. After all, I was like, is he talking about what I think he's talking about? Oh my gosh. After all, there had only been one person in my heart. The first dad after I'd gotten out of the hospital and gone back to school. Hold on a second. I'm back. My father was trying to tell me something. Okay. The first day after I got out of the hospital and gone back to school, I didn't see her in my class. During my lectures, I kept losing my thoughts until I saw her passed out of the back door of the classroom. I had no time to worry about other people staring at us. I carried her out of the school, but I couldn't get a cab. I had to run all the way to the hospital with her on my back. Maybe that was the moment when I started feeling something more. Or maybe it had been even earlier. When our pictures had been posted on the school forum, I'd intentionally avoided her. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. when she said that you had not, you probably wasn't mad at her, I'm pretty sure. But when she said that you weren't mad at the pictures being revealed and things like that, when y'all finally started talking again, I knew that you had been avoiding her on purpose. Like, there's no way that y'all just like did not talk to each other coincidentally. When I walked past her, I knew she was staring at me, and I felt like the most horrible and stupid person in the entire world. So that might have been the moment, but maybe not. It wasn't. No. I shouldn't even be thinking about all this. She and I, it was never going to happen. She needs to know with Jimmy, please. I want her with Jimmy, please. Some of her old age, not this old man. Not saying there's anything wrong with him, but she, no. No. Please. No. No. I think she needs to be with Jimmy. Continue to be a father figure in her life until you unfortunately pass. None more. The night kept getting darker and darker. The rain kept falling, and I was still sitting at the doorstep. I felt like I was dissolving into the rain. And the night. I suddenly heard someone calling me from behind. She sat herself up on the bed, but looked away the second when she saw my eyes. Mr. Wen, I have always liked you. I stood there, thinking that I must have heard it wrong. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't have said it. You're my teacher, and I must have made you very uncomfortable. But I couldn't hold it in any longer. If I don't tell you, I feel like I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm sorry, Mr. Wen. I'm so sorry. Her hands were clenching the sheets tightly. I want to be with you. I pushed her. She began crying and ran towards the door. She just ran into the evening rain. By the time I realized it, I could not see her anymore. What do you mean you pushed her? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by you pushed her? Is that figuratively you pushed? Or did you push, like, physically? Oh, okay. So you did say something. Earlier, after hesitating for what felt like forever, I told her the cruelest thing. I'm sorry. I can't be with you. Okay, so you did push her. Okay, you ain't had to put your hands on her. Like, you ain't have to put your hands. Come on now, you could have just denied her and turned away. I remembered her expression when I had pushed her to the ground. She must have thought I had been disgusted by her, but how could I ever feel that about her? The only person that had been disgusting was me. I was so scared. I had no idea what I would mean to her if I crossed that line. Her lover, her father, or just a pathetic, dying cancer patient. I held my flashlight and began aimlessly searching for her in the rain. I almost slipped a dozen times, and when I realized that she might have slipped and fallen down, I hated myself more. Before I knew it, it was daylight. The rain had finally stopped. And the sun had come out. I'm gonna get some water. Oh no, I have a bottle. I have one right here. The first ray of sunlight broke through the clouds and sprinkled upon her body, lying in the valley. She was so calm, so beautiful, and so still. She was not even breathing. How did she die? Did she fall? I held her cold body in my arms. I felt like I had lost the whole world. Again. Wen Jiaozhen. Okay, let's see how we fix this. How about this? It now makes it seem like that he ran instead of she ran. I don't know if this is gonna fix it, but it's gonna be the best ending, but we'll see. Excuse me. I ran into the evening rain and I could not bear to look back. Earlier, after hesitating for what felt like forever, I had told her the cruelest thing. I'm sorry. I can't be with you. I remembered her expression when I pushed her to the ground. She must have thought I'd been disgusted by her, but how could I ever feel that way about her? The only person that had been disgusting was me. I was so scared. I had no idea what I would mean to her if I crossed that line. Her lover? Her father? Or just a pathetic, dying cancer patient. I had walked past 2 slopes. I found myself arriving at the spot where I spread the ashes of my fiancé. I hadn't even realized I'd been going this way. We had seen the most beautiful rainbow in the world here together once. Honey, I'm so sorry. The freezing rain kept falling on me. It seemed to be getting even heavier. She wouldn't be looking for me, would she? A thought suddenly entered my mind. The rain was so heavy, and the mountain could be dangerous in this weather. If she came out by herself, and something happened to her. I couldn't stop myself feeling worried, and I began to regret running out of the cabin. I must go back immediately. But the gods decided to toy with me one last time. When I turned around, I stepped into a puddle of mud and slipped. I lost balance, and I rolled down the hill into a completely dark abyss. I kind of thought he would die. Okay. How was it before? Reset. How about we do this? Oh, that's still bad? Okay. Let's see how this goes. I think this is right. Since after he runs towards the door, she will be able to tell him, I want to be with you. So that would kind of signal that both of them are still alive. This music kind of sounds like this is the right answer. What on earth had I been saying? I couldn't bear to look at her anymore. I ran out of the cabin and sat down at the door, pretending to be staring at the rain. She sat down to my right. Perhaps we had a mutual understanding. Neither of us said anything. Not for a long while. The rain had finally stopped, and the sun had come out. Did you see a rainbow? I wasn't expecting her to ask about this, and I was a little surprised. No. A few minutes later, she leaned her head on my shoulder and fell asleep. She didn't seem to be dreaming this time. I looked at her beautiful smile as she slept, and I finally made up my mind. I let her sleep on my shoulder quietly for another half hour. I wanted to selfishly enjoy these last glorious moments by myself. The world had stopped moving for all I cared. I couldn't make you happy in this life, but if I had the chance, I would dedicate my entire next life to be with you. That's A? Goodness gracious, that seemed like it was pretty good. Do we have to push this down like this? That's delay. That's bad. How many choices do we have? We have two choices left. Let's see if she runs and then I push her. Oh, this might be the best ending. Sounds like it. I couldn't simply ignore her existence any longer. I couldn't ignore my true feelings either. She was so pure, so kind. She was a gift from God. I didn't want to hurt her, but I couldn't help myself anymore. Oh my God, no! Oh my gosh. Oh well. I reached out to her and held her in my arms as tight as I could. I kissed her forehead. I kissed her cheeks. I kissed her lips. I undressed her, oh my. I kissed every inch of her body. Her long hair dripped over my arms and fell on the bed. Her pale body was glistening with the warm light from the candles. She was trembling beneath me. My soaking wet shirt had been stuck to my skin, but was becoming boiling hot with our body heat. Our two heartbeats were pounding, racing, and becoming one. The rain kept falling, but the world outside didn't concern us. Not one bit. Not for a long while. The rain had finally stopped, and the sun had come out. The first ray of sunlight came through the window and fell upon her long, soft hair. I gently kissed her forehead. The rest of my life belonged to you now, and I would live it well for you. Okay, well, that's the best ending. I hope you enjoy it. How old is she again? Okay, they met when she was 17, but she's been 18 a long time since they started to develop feelings with each other. Oh my God, this is a lot. The age difference, like, yeah, the age difference. The fact that I want her to be with Jimmy. I still want them to meet again. I'm so upset. And also the teacher-student relationship dynamic. I mean, he's not really a teacher no more, but still. Oh gosh. Anyway, let's go to the next one. I reached for my spare spotty body pillow, but it wasn't there. I shook my dizzy head and sat up on my bed, trying to remember what happened last night. What had happened last night? I had been chased by a strange masked person on my way to the supermarket. The man seemed determined to kill me. I finally got away thanks to a landslide just off the road. I was completely exhausted when I came back and fell asleep as soon as my head touched the pillow. However, this was clearly not my own room. I sat up. The floating dust made me sneeze a few times. I turned around and saw that there was a clearly human-shaped mark on this old sofa bed. The rest of it was all covered with dust. Some of the furniture was covered with cloth and messily arranged in the corner. There were no windows in the room, only a locked gate. I appeared to be in the warehouse. The only source of light was a dim desk lamp on a wooden table that had one leg shorter than the others. There was also an hourglass and a used syringe on the uneven tabletop. A note was placed under the hourglass. You were pretty lucky yesterday, but can you still find the key to your fortune today? This time, the game is timed, so please be aware of your time limit. If the game is over for you, I'll be very sad. Not the emoji. I want his cow emojis, not this little emoji. The note was signed with a smiley face. Smiley face? No. This was not just a smiley face. This was Pi? The infamous psycho serial killer Pi. 2 years ago, an extremely bizarre murder case had been taking over the news for a while. A 30-something-year-old man died in the bathtub of his own house. To be more accurate, he didn't die there. His body was placed there. All 24 pieces of it, each of them meticulously sliced. The blood had been drained and the entire bathroom was totally spotless, and as if it had just been cleaned by a specially trained crew. The only clue left at the scene was a smiley face drawn with a marker on one piece of his body. Even more bizarre, the man was a divorced father who had been living with his 10-year-old son. After his death, the son told the police that he had been abused by his father multiple times. In fact, he claimed that he remembered the exact number of times that it happened. 24 times. Was it just a coincidence? Was this smiley-faced killer some kind of vengeful angel of justice? The media started to spin the story, adding their own imagination and speculation. For a while, all kinds of articles about justice and evil were all over both legitimate and gossip newspapers alike. As the police were completely at a loss with the case, a similarly strange yet wildly different case happened. A drug-addicted pop singer who was known for frequently abusing his girlfriend and causing multiple miscarriages was found dead in the backstage of the bar where he usually performed. So I'm guessing that the serial killer is coming after Jimmy because right now he's in the news as a supposed pedophile. That's unfortunate. The crime scene was very clean and showed no signs of a struggle. They were only able to identify traces of blood on the floor after using luminol. Luminol, which is composed of 8 carbon, 7 hydrogen, 3 nitrogen, and 2 oxygen, is a chemical that exhibits chemiluminescence with a blue glow when mixed with an appropriate oxidizing agent, usually a solution containing hydrogen peroxide, which is 2H2 hydrogen 2 oxide, okay, and hydroxide ions, okay, let me reread that. I'm not reading this right. Okay. Luminol is a chemical that exhibits chemiluminescence with a blue glow when mixed with appropriate oxidizing agent, usually a solution containing hydrogen peroxide and hydrogen ions in water, is an activator that could activate luminol to exhibit its luminescence. When the solution encounters blood, the ion present in the hemoglobin functions as a catalyst, which helps the hydrogen peroxide decompose to form oxygen and water. Oxygen then reacts with the luminol dianion, which is produced by luminol and hydroxide ion. This product of this final reaction is an unstable organic peroxide, which exhibits a blue glow. Luminol solution is therefore most often used in forensic investigation as it is sensitive to 1 ppm of blood, so blood stains that have been washed away can still be detected. By the way, the solution can also have the same reaction to urine and fecal matter as well. Interesting. Did not know that. Oof. His vocal cords have been ripped away from his body. Meanwhile, A cassette tape was found beside the body. The tape was a recording of the singer's own voice, but completely off key. A smiley face was drawn on the tape. Okay, this is sadistic though. Like, why do you have to be so sadistic about it? Afterwards, the police referred to the suspect with the codename Pi because the smiley face looked a lot like the symbol pi if it was rotated. They tried to prevent all information regarding Pi from leaking, yet somehow the media kept finding more and more juicy stories. They soon summarized several characteristics that were shared among Pi's victims. 1. Sadistic. 2. Male. 3. Some kind of abnormal perversion. Excuse me. For instance, a middle-aged man who was extremely into S&M that started targeting neighborhood children. A man who always cheated on his partners and then beat them up when he ended the relationships. An elementary school principal who was a pedophile and molested his own students. Molested the students? It was as if a bomb had just gone off in my head, in my brain. It must be because of that goddamn gossip article. He was after me for the wrong reason. However, I had no choice but to find him so I could explain myself. I read the note again. I rolled up my sleeves to examine my arms, and I found it. There was a tiny bluish needle mark on my left arm. Crap, there wasn't much time left. The warehouse gate had been secured by an ancient-looking lock. The lock was covered with carved markings and seemed quite heavy and sturdy. There was a keyhole in the center of it. It seemed to be a challenge. To make things worse, it wasn't that I couldn't find a key. A chest had been placed right next to the gate. It was filled with keys. Lots of them, in all kinds of shapes. He's sadistic. He's doing this to torture you. He knows that you'll be trying to find a key to escape the gate, to get through the gate. But then he gonna put a chest full of a whole bunch of keys to drive you crazy in your last moments, trying to frantically find a key before you die. God damn it! I flipped through the chest to the ground. I flipped the chest to the ground desperately. All of the keys poured into the ground in a chaotic flood of metal. There must be thousands of them. About half of the sand was still on top of the hourglass. Still in the top half of the hourglass. I probably had only approximately 1 hour left. Even if I could try one key every 3 seconds, I would have gone through less than half the keys. However, I have no time to waste, and I start trying them one by one, even though I had no idea what to do next. 50 minutes had passed. I inserted another key into the keyhole, yet the goddess of fortune never favored me, ever since I was a little kid. The final grains of sand had dropped into the small dune at the bottom half of the hourglass. Excruciating pain exploded in my chest. I couldn't even hold the key in my hand anymore. I dropped the key onto the pile. It made a clinking sound and I collapsed onto the pile. I must have completely wasted my time watching all those crime investigation thriller movies. All I could think of right now were the scenes where the victim died. I couldn't even remember even a single scene where the heroes escaped because of their intelligence. It hurt so much that I curled into a ball on the ground. My mind was almost gone and I felt the warmth beneath my nose. I wiped my face with my hand. Blood. It was over. I was gonna die in this godforsaken place that no one would ever know about because a psycho serial killer had gotten the wrong guy. Jimmy. Still no cow emojis. Jimmy, I want your cow emojis back. I feel like this is how it should be, right? This will probably be his thought, right? Well, my precedent is that the goddess of fortune had never favored me since I was a little kid. Yet, after 50 minutes, when he inserts this one key into the keyhole, all of a sudden the goddess of fortune seems to favor him now. This yet will contradict this statement, I believe. This should be S immediately. Like, this is the only way S. This is like the clearest S I can do. Yep. This is immediate S. I knew it. The lock opened with a crisp electric beep. Yes, thank God I had been fooled by how it looked. I wiped the sweat off my forehead, my sleeve, and disconnect the wireless connection between my PDA and the lock. 50 minutes ago, I had a sudden epiphany after trying a few keys without success. I took out my PDA and tried to scan for nearby devices. That was how I found my chance to survive. The lock was actually an electric lock that looked just like a mechanical one. It was connected wirelessly to a remote server named Lock of Luck through a nearby router. The server was the real key of luck. To have laid out such a trap could only be one thing. Pi had secretly investigated me and knew that I was a hacker. That bastard almost had me fooled. It took me 50 minutes to crack the administrator password for the server. Then I was able to find the program that controlled the lock. The setting on the program indicated the lock would only be opened if there were 2,000 attempts. In other words, it didn't matter which key I tried. All I needed to do was try 2,000 times with any key. However, no one in this fucking world could do it 2,000 times in an hour. Except a hacker. Yay, Kawamoji! Kawamoji, I was looking for them to come back. Yes, be proud of yourself. I pushed open the gate. The humid air and the clear night sky made me feel like I had never felt like. I'm so bad at reading today, gosh. I'm sorry, y'all. The humid air and the clear night sky made me feel like I had never felt before. Okay. The paper bag was taped to the other side of the gate with a note reading, Antidote 1. In the bag there was a syringe filled with some unknown liquid and a car key. Are you fucking kidding me? Antidote 1? That bastard! Excruciating pain exploded in my chest. I had no choice but to inject the first antidote into my arm. I had to keep going. I had to find him. I struggled to stand up, sweat all over my body, and pressed the button on the key fob. A beeping sound came from a car not too far away. The headlights blinked twice. Wow, first try. I'm so good. I'm good at this. Yay. Uh-oh. Hold on. I love that phrase. Okay, why is another branch? I'm scared about this. Okay, let's see what she got to say. In the subway train, an old blind woman raised a well-worn metal mug to my face. An old man who looked like her husband was helping her from behind with one hand. His other hand was holding out a worn-out speaker. It was playing May Happiness Be With You. Beijing had banned solicitation in the subway, but these beggars could still often be seen in the cars. No one wanted to be the bad guy or feel guilty, so no one would report them to the authorities. I put $5 in the mug. I usually wouldn't do something like this, but I just wanted them to leave me alone today. Besides, the beggars there are only a few other passengers in the train car. A mother and a son who had just come back from an amusement park. A couple who were laughing while looking at their tablet. A salaryman who apparently had just gotten off work. He was telling his honey on the phone to go to bed without him. I felt so envious. I didn't want to go home, because even at home, I would still be alone. The car was quiet, except for the occasional chit-chatting, the wheels running along the tracks and the PA system announcing the stops. The next station is Station B. The next station is Station G. Station G is a transfer station. Passengers for another line, please prepare to get off. The next station is Station H. Station H is a transfer station. Passengers for another line, please prepare to get off. The next station is Station P. I wasn't sure how many stations had been since I gotten on the on the train at Station B near my home. I didn't bring much of anything with me. Perhaps I should just keep going until I reach the final station in the countryside. I had enough money on me to buy another ticket to Tianjin. I will go and watch the ocean there. Last time I had gone was when I was in elementary school. And I remembered that. I had gone with my father that time. Perhaps this time, I wouldn't be coming back. What happened? I'm so confused. I thought she got what she wanted. I thought she wanted to be with him. Didn't they kiss and do a lot more than that? What happened in the meantime? I lay down in the chairs next to me and raised my left hand in front of my eyes. The fluorescent lights on the ceiling shone through my fingers as if they were blinking. The ring I had on my ring finger seemed to be fading out. God, were our fates already determined or not? Was it really something that could be changed? Oh, did he die? That would be terrible if he died in front of her in the cabin after that. That would have been terrible. Li Wen. Oh gosh. I feel bad if he just died like that. Let's see when it has Station B at the end. Okay, this doesn't seem like it's right, based on the music. I stayed in the subway, changing from one line to another, hesitating. I finally decided to go home. It was already dark when I came out of Station B. It wasn't a highly populated neighborhood. The only reason he and I decided to live here was because the rent was cheaper. The grass was tall near the exit, and the street lights were a little dim. I walked down the street and reached my own shadow, and watched my own shadow getting longer and longer. Suddenly, another shadow appeared next to mine. For a split second, I fantasized that it was his shadow. Oh gosh, she's always getting kidnapped. A wet cloth was put over my nose and mouth. It had a very strong smell. My brain stopped functioning. The gal next door complete the profile of Li Wen. My brain stopped functioning. I was lost inside darkness. That was bad, okay. Oh, here's a map. I can look at the map. I mean, I don't really know how this map's supposed to help me, to be honest. I'm so confused. I'm just gonna switch all the stations and see what happens. My phone just buzzed again. Another complaint from another customer, whining about the quality of my goods. Oh, please. Huh? The who is this? What time is this? I'm gonna get another bottle of water. please. What kind of quality do you expect from something that cost you $5? I got off the train at a random station. I had enough. I didn't know how to keep living like this. There were very few people in the station. The next station was 5 minutes away. I stood there on the platform, completely still, for 5 minutes, until the headlights of the train blinded me. I jumped and landed on the railway. Oh, did she just commit suicide? I learned one thing. Those movie scenes where a person gets hit by a train and then flies into the air were all lies. Okay, well that was terrible. Let's reset. It's bad. Okay. I have to use this map, but I have no idea how to use it. Yeah, this is her last one. Something happened. Story in the rainbow. Let's see what this is about. Oh my gosh. He's still playing games. The antidote 1 you just injected will allow you to breathe for 2 more hours. I'm waiting for you at the location marked on the map. Some smaller letters have been written below, circled by some curls. Jumanji. I almost wanted to tear up the map that he had left on the steering wheel into pieces. What's wrong with this psycho? Freaking Jumanji? Referencing such an old movie, he must be an ancient freak. I don't even have a fucking driver's license. I banged my head on the steering wheel and just let the horn scream out my frustration. Yet, a few minutes later, not even a bird seemed to have been disturbed, not to mention any human neighbors that might have shown up to yell at me. Fine. It was just driving, right? I'd seen it in movies. Like, I got this. I tried to recall the controls in all the racing games. Oh, and the scenes from Initial D, of course. I stepped on the brake, shifted the gear, and turned on the ignition. After a series of teeth-grinding screeches, the engine finally started. It sounded exactly like an old man with asthma. The car started to move forward slowly. I held onto the wheel for dear life and was able to guide it out of the warehouse. I didn't scratch the wall, nor did I bump into the electric pole. I kept going, stopping, and starting numerous times along the way. After following the map for 20 minutes, I finally began to see other cars on the road as well. It was getting more and more crowded around me. At first, I thought that the traffic had been slow simply because I had gotten closer to the city, but I started to realize that something wasn't right. There seemed to be too few people and too many cars. I turned on the radio, and the anchor happened to be reporting the news. College students are gathering in the street to oppose the recently proposed controversial draft education bill. At the moment, the protesters are moving towards Bangkok. The police have arrived to maintain the peace during the protest. Several blocks are currently closed to regular traffic, and impacted areas are seeing significantly increased travel time. All drivers remain alert to the road conditions and try to avoid these areas. A protest? An alarm went off in my head, but I was too late. This cranky old car was stuck firmly in the middle of a traffic jam. I had nowhere else to go. Temporary roadblocks had been placed at several crossings that could have been used for turning. Several police motorcycles were parked nearby, their lights blinking red and blue. The policemen were directing the traffic and the cars were moving slower than the pedestrians. If I kept going like this, I'd be dead before I got past this block. I checked the map again to confirm the route Pi had drawn. Balls! He did it on purpose! Fine. If you wanted to play that game, I will play Toretto then. I had nothing to lose. I turned the wheel full to the left and stepped on the gas as hard as I could. The car knocked the roadblocks away and continued into the street. Boy, you gonna hit somebody and get arrested. I kept slamming the horn at the damn college students in front of me. Soon, I heard the sirens screaming behind me. The policemen had just been smiling at me a few seconds ago were now coming up towards me on their bikes. If they caught up with me, I wouldn't get to restart the game. I got through the street as fast as I could and turned onto the road I was familiar with. Finally, there were no more damn protesting students. A light had just turned green 200 meters ahead of me. Very few people would ever use that crossing, so the green light typically only lasts for 10 seconds. I knew this as I had to go through it every time I went to the supermarket. However, as the other direction was a truck exit off the freeway, that usually had a lot of cargo trucks. The red light would last for a full minute. I glanced at the speedometer. I was going 54 kilometers per hour, aka 15 miles a second. 15 meters a second. I had to get rid of the policeman here. I drove at the same speed for 100 meters. I stepped on the gas harder, accelerating and increasing my speed 4 times over. I drove another 100 meters. I stepped on the brake hard and reduced my speed by half. In my wildest dreams, I never thought I would be involved in a car chase with some policemen. I definitely had not imagined I'd be driving an old piece of junk that might just fall apart at any time. Still, the engine seemed to be roaring with confidence. I felt that the car was trying to tell me that he had used to be a beast, too. The car and I flew over the crossing, leaving a stream of black smoke behind us. Oh crap, I'd gone too fast, too soon. The policeman sped up after me and gotten through the green light too. I wouldn't be able to find another chance to get rid of them later. More and more policemen joined the chase. In the end, I was blocked by 2 police cars at another crossing. The blinking lights almost made me blind. I was surrounded by numerous officers and their guns. I had no choice but to step out of the car with my hands held behind my head. I got slammed to the hot engine cover. Sir, you have a right to remain silent. Everything you say will be used. Hearing these lines that I only heard on TV and the movies did not excite me as I expected. Then they said I had been accused of unlawful driving, speeding, vandalism of public property, murder. Wait, murder? They brought me behind the car. The trunk was open. I saw all kinds of knives, handcuffs, shovels, and tools in it. Some of them had sinister-looking red liquid on them. What the hell? I can imagine Pi sitting on a sofa, sipping a glass of red wine and mocking me. He must be the sickest, most devious serial killer ever. I didn't have much time left, at least not enough to convince the police that I was innocent. Sitting in the back of the car, all I could do was pray. My goddess of fortune, please show me some miracles. Jimmy. Oops. Nope. Wow. He done framed him too. The only thing we can do is just switch these, right? Yeah, we just have to switch. In my wildest dreams, I never thought I would be involved in a car chase with some policemen. I definitely had not imagined that I would be driving an old piece of junk that just might fall apart at any time. But reality was different from video games. I couldn't make myself rush through the light like a real outlaw when it turned yellow. The sirens were still behind me. I remember the consequence of being caught. I bit my lip and kept driving up to the crossing where the light had just turned red. A blinding beam of light pierced the driver's side window, along with the deafening scream of a car horn. I could vaguely see the shadow of a cargo truck behind the light. I heard screeching brakes, then the thud of a collision. The impact had knocked me into oblivion. The entire world had turned into a bloody red before my eyes. Pi, I swear I'll haunt you for eternity. That's the only one. Oh, we have... Huh? Oh, you can put them in the same thing. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Speeding up and then speed back down. Okay, this seems like it could be good. The light turned red just as I drove past the crossing, and a couple of cargo trucks rushed out from the other direction. The police had to stop before the crossing. Yes! I drove into another alley and finally lost them. I rushed the rest of the way as fast as I could, trying my best not to attract unnecessary attention. It had turned from a flat road into a zigzag uphill climb. There were fewer and fewer lights too. Finally, I had reached the end of the road. It was the destination marked on the map. It had taken me an hour and a half. There was nothing else beyond the road but some woods. Would Pi be waiting in the woods? I got out of the car. Just as I was hesitating about whether or not I should call him, the theme song, Hong Kong Drift, get rid of the police. Okay. I got out of the car. Just as I was hesitating about whether or not I should call him, the theme song of my favorite game suddenly started playing in a nearby bush. Okay, we got an S. I have to fix that. I have to fix that too. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be... It's another break. I want to get this ending, but I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be another break. At 23, committed suicide at a subway station in Beijing. Yeah. That happened here. What happened to him though? Did he die? When did we get this? Died of cancer at 37. When was this added? I don't remember when that happened. I guess he'll always die at that age, I guess. Okay, so she's 23 years old at that time. Okay. It's not locked because it's red, so we should be able to get it. Hmm. Hmm. Mm. Mm. I have no idea. I'm also sad we only got one store for Rocket. I wanted to see more Rocket. I'm sad about that. I have no idea. I have no idea. I might try a hint. Because I've kind of looked up some answers. I don't want to look up the S answers, though. I don't want to look that up. I want to get all the S answers by myself. Oh, we haven't done this yet? I thought we've done this. I guess not. Well, I finally got home. I went into the apartment carrying a full bag of random goods from a rural shopping mall. The place was a mess. Toys and clothes that I still hadn't sold were everywhere. I washed my face, and then the 2 apples that were in my fridge, they were the only edible things in there. I took a bite from one of them and put the other one in front of a photo of Mr. Wen. Hey, how have you been? I'm doing well. I would say this to his photo every time I came back. Then I would pretend that he responded and asked about my day, to which I would then reply that I've been doing well. Wow, she is so attached to him. Even though it was a total lie. He had had surgery at the same time I graduated high school. It was a success at first. However, during my freshman year in pre-med, things took a bad turn. The doctor said that the cancer cells had spread. Without telling him, I took a leave of absence from school to take care of him. Without telling him, I took a leave of absence from school to take care of him, and I started living with him. He was always cheerful in the beginning, assuring me that there were all kinds of new treatments available. I knew he was just trying to make me feel better, but I was still watching him getting weaker and weaker, losing the fight day by day. Cancer was a real monster. We were completely powerless against it. That's terrible. It is terrible how cancer steals so many people's lives. And it's still something that people have to face with at an increasing rate. More and more. It's terrible. On the same day 3 years ago, he was gone, and left me all by myself. I'd applied to medical school because of him, but I lost all my will to continue after he passed away, so I dropped out of school. And started working. Since I didn't have my college diploma, all I could get was some random part-time jobs. I used the spare time to manage an online shop, selling small, cheap goods. My earnings could barely cover my monthly rent. Sometimes, I literally couldn't afford meals and had to shamelessly go and beg for help from Jing, who had only recently gotten a job after graduating from college. Sometimes, I wondered if there was any point in living like this. The only things that had kept me going were these precious memories of mine. I opened the glass doors of my cabinet. My notebook was on my right. It had all the text messages between him and me. I copied them all down into a notebook from my phone. An artist collections book was right next to the notebook. He once took me to an exhibition for that artist. A photo album was placed to his left. I took the album out. The first photo in the album was the one with us in the coffee shop. Okay. She looks so cute and he does look handsome. I like her outfit overall. I love like her fair skin paired with her pink eyes and pink hair, and I think she's wearing either a pink dress or it's just white, and the light reflecting on it has a pinkish hue to it because of, you know, everything else. That was the only one of us. That was the only one of us from before we were officially together. And we had taken many, many more afterwards. There was one with us at the New Year's Eve countdown. One with us at the festivals. One with him cooking. One with him sleeping. Oh, the photo just turned black and white. One with him going through chemo. Oh. One with him pacing in the hospital yard. And the last one with him smiling weakly at the camera. He seemed to have known that it would be the last memory he could ever leave me with. The timestamp said that it had been taken on March 26th, one day before my birthday. It had been the day before my 20th birthday. And then, separated by death, trial of different ways of transferring subway lines. Okay. That was S. Well... Huh. I have no idea what I should do. I guess who's... She dies. She dies here. She dies again. Okay, she dies in all of these, right? Okay. I don't know why we have to change this. Okay, well, let's just try to get some more things. Okay, sudden limit, left hand firmly grasped. Left hand pin. Pin torrent. Pin grasp torrent. Pin left hand. Pin hand torrent. Pin hand. Pin torrent. Hand. Okay. Okay, well. Let's see. Let's replay. Not replay. Stop. Have I tried this? I haven't tried this. For him. I'm doing well today, Coffee Flower. And that's nice that you have red velvet cake for dessert. That sounds real good. I wish I had some. How are you doing today? I stuck the pin deep into his shoulder, but he showed no signs of pain at all. The crazed look in his eyes seemed to get even more intense. He looked extremely excited. I fell to the ground in terror. I was screwed. I had run into a real psychopath. The masked person covered my nose and mouth with a damp cloth. A tide of exhaustion suddenly washed over me. Everything went dark. I passed out. When I woke up, I realized I couldn't move at all. Wait, why was I tied to a table with my arms and legs all spread out? And where have my clothes gone? Big brother. I heard his chilling voice right next to my ear. The masked person had a shining scalpel in one of his hands this time. He kept brushing the back of his cold scalpel over my thighs. In his other hand, he was holding the gossip newspaper that had a picture of my butt. Big brother, I heard that you like little boys' lollipops. What the hell? I tried to protest, but my body was as heavy as a piece of cast iron. My persona would be a sheep. Maybe. I've never had a persona before. I've never thought about it. But if I had to say, I would probably say that. The only sounds I could make were some random noises. Yes, I do like jewelry. I actually bought some new pieces of jewelry that should be arriving soon. Yeah, what I do. Actually, I like them too. What? I saw a silver reaction flash through the air. Oof. The pain was so intense that even my numb body couldn't ignore it. It looked like a warm red liquid splashed all over my body. The only thought that I had before I completely lost consciousness was, damn, I shouldn't have gone out. Okay, that didn't change her thing though. Okay. Okay, this can change hers. I felt weightless. I had never done bungee jumping before. I imagined it would probably feel something like this. I was falling. I kept falling. After what had felt like an eternity, my body finally touched the ground. I could feel something sticky coming out of my nose and my ears. It hurt so bad. So bad. Okay, that's another bad ending. I think all of these are bad. She dies in all of these, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Can we try the PM by itself? This changes both of these. Okay. I fell down in the mud, and the torrent of mud and soil underneath swept both of us down the cliff. The dark figure was still holding onto my wrist with her unnatural strength. The mud and soil kept splashing onto my face and into my nose. I was beginning to have trouble breathing. Suddenly, something hard struck me on the forehead, and I blacked out. When I woke up, I realized I was in a hospital. I couldn't move at all. My entire body had been wrapped up like a mummy. The nurse told me that a team of road repair workers had found me. I'd broken numerous bones all over my body, but none of my organs had been damaged. It was almost a miracle. A doctor in a white coat came in soon after the nurse left. He was wearing a mask, so I couldn't see his face. He had a glistening scalpel in his hand. I could see a pair of cold yet crazy eyes above the mask. Big brother, we're about to start the procedure now. No! No! I was like, okay, this could be a decent ending we could switch to, but no, he still dies in this one. I somehow stuck the pin into the cracks among the cliff. I somehow stuck the pin into the cracks among the rocks in the cliff. I didn't fall, but I didn't have enough strength to climb back either. The wind and the rain kept getting stronger. I was spent. I was spent. I couldn't hold on any longer and I had to let go. I was falling. I kept falling. After what I felt like an eternity, my body finally touched the ground. I could feel something sticky coming out of my nose and my ears. It hurt so bad. So bad. Okay, that's a C. Okay. I think she dies in all of these, so this might not be the thing that we have to do. Let's just try. Okay, we haven't done left hand firmly graph by itself. Okay, this is his other ending. The sweat on my palm had glued my hand tightly to the pen that I had just stuck it into his shoulder, but he showed no signs of pain at all. Who the hell was this person? I fell down into the mud, and the torrent of mud and soil underneath swept us both down the cliff. The mud and soil kept splashing onto my face and onto my nose. I was beginning to have trouble breathing. Suddenly, something hard struck me in the forehead and I blacked out. Okay, this might be the same thing. Yep, same thing. Okay, we got all of his, but not all of hers. We can't do that. Oh, it's the last one for us. My heart skipped a few beats. I felt like I'd already died. I thought it must be in a wild dream. I'd seen too many movies with a similar plot. The heroine's about to fall off a cliff, and the hero was able to catch her hand at the last moment. Then she would cut his hand with something and say, "Let go of me, or I'll drag you down too." Yet we were not the hero or heroine of that kind of movie. The torrent washed me off the cliff. My pen was still sticking out of Mr. Wen's hand. The last memory I left him was a pen. A pen. I was swept into the air by the gusting wind, but my eyes were locked onto him. He was yelling something at me, but the wind had blown the words away and I couldn't hear a thing. I was falling. I kept falling. After what had felt like an eternity, my body finally reached the ground. I could feel something sticky coming out of my nose and my ears. It hurt so bad. So bad. Okay. Well, doesn't look like that. Any of these would fix the problem. Okay. Some supposed to happen, but I can't figure it out. Let's just see what this is. And if we get stuck, we'll have to go through and do some other things. I was targeted by a psychopathic serial killer. I knew it sounded ridiculous, but it was true. I was even forced to play a stupid Jumanji game with him, and I had to clear it with one life. My real life. Standing in the middle of nowhere in the dead of night with a cell phone hidden in the tall bushes, ringing persistently like it was calling for my life. All I could think was, fuck, I wish I could just turn it off. Yes? I had no choice but to answer the phone. You finally came. It was the same chilling voice from the other night. Even though I had been modulated, the casual mocking tone of the voice was unmistakable. I walked around half of the hill. After another 5 minutes, I finally arrived at the gate to the manor, which Pi had directed me to by phone. Under the lamppost, the red brick wall seemed to be oozing with blood. There was a nameplate next to them. Next to a magnificent wrought iron gate. The plate was covered with dust. I could see these words written on the plate. Apple Manor. I reached my hand down and pushed the gate. It wasn't locked, and I opened it with a squeak. The path to the house was covered with fallen leaves. I could hear them rustling with every step I took. The thick foliage beneath my feet indicated that they must have been piling up for a long time. I took a deep breath and walked through the front door of the house, which was also unlocked. It was much bigger inside than I had imagined. The exquisite decorations in the hall were bathed in a faint and warm yellow from the lights. Lots of paintings were hung on the walls, each one of which looked like it could be worth a fortune. At the end of the hall, there were 2 closed doors, one on each side. The table was placed in between the 2 doors, and the giant screen hung on the wall above the table. I saw Pi on the screen, wearing a cap and a hospital mask, covered head to toe in a full black. Then he opened his arms towards me. Welcome to Apple Manor. I leaned against the wall, looking nervously around the hall. Antidote! Where's the antidote? There was something extraordinary about Pi. Even though I was only seeing him through a screen, I still couldn't help but shudder. Well, that's rude. Pi pointed a finger down on the screen, pointing to the table underneath. I could see a metal box in the center of the table. This is your final test, and I, being the generous man that I am, have left you hints underneath the box. Once you make your decision, we can finally meet each other. Good luck. Oh, wait, Before I could explain to Pi about the misunderstanding over molesting young kids, the signal cut off. Meanwhile, I heard a click behind me. I ran back to the front door and grabbed the handle. It was locked. Damn it! I went up to the table. An open metal box was placed on top of a white tablecloth. 5 syringes filled with liquid of 5 different colors were lying on a cushion inside the box. For my outfit, when I go to play the groom of Gallagher Mansion, would I like a tuxedo, a woman wedding dress, or wedding attire? Probably a tuxedo. Yeah, probably a tuxedo. A pile of handwritten notes had been left under the box. The first one said, "Wise man choice." Encountering something this fantastical and strange in real life had left me speechless. The second one said, "The antidote will save you. The poison will kill you. In these 5 syringes, the blue one is the antidote." There was no way he would just tell me the truth. It must be some trick. The purple one is the poison. The blue one and the yellow one are different. The green one and the purple one are different. The red one is the antidote. P.S. Only one of these statements is true. Shit! I wasn't sure if it was because of my frustration or because of the poison inside me. I was beginning to feel lightheaded. Still, I managed to read through the last note. P.P.S. There are fewer antidotes than poisons in the syringes. That is the God's honest truth, big brother. I need to calm down. I stared at the 5 syringes, took a deep breath, and began to think carefully. Red, blue, purple, green. I made a decision and picked up the syringe in this color, yellow. Could it be this one? Maybe the hints were too complicated or the poison was hindering my thoughts, but I felt like my brain had almost completely stopped functioning. It must be this one. I picked up the syringe and stabbed into my arm. Why was the tablecloth turning red? Oh no, it was me, bleeding from my nose and my mouth. I couldn't. Somebody, please help me. Jimmy. Okay, that should give us a hint. We should better figure this out. Okay, yellow's poison. So that means... Oh. How many are there? Red, blue, purple, green, yellow. Only one statement is true. There are fewer antidotes than poisons in the syringes. I want to see what happens if we don't choose one. I tried my best to organize my thoughts over and over again. According to the hints from Pi, out of the 5 syringes, the only one that could possibly be the antidote was the purple one. Was another scenario. It could be that none of the syringes had the antidote. Thinking back to the previous test that I survived, Pi would likely play a trick like that again. Which case would it be? If there was no antidote here, then where was it? There wasn't much time left. I grabbed the red one and stabbed into my arm. I covered my arm with one hand and fell to the ground with a scream. I struggled a little at first, but I slowly curled into a ball and stopped moving, with my face aimed downwards. The front door unlocked with another click. One of the side doors handles turned, and the door was pushed open. Someone walked quietly towards me. I saw a pair of squeaky clean black Oxfords. I could see a familiar reflection in the shoes. The owner of the Oxford stopped in front of me. I heard a strange male voice say, "What a shame. Game over." "For you?" I stabbed his leg with the syringe in my hand. I injected every single red drop into his body. Oh my gosh. "You! How dare you!" Wow. Okay, I see you. I see you. For the first time, he had finally lost his calm in front of me. He dropped to his knees and began to search all of his pockets in a frenzy. He finally pulled out a syringe filled with a white liquid. There it was! I grabbed the box on the table and smashed into his head with all of my remaining strength. Pi fell to the ground with a thud. The syringe slipped out of his hand. I caught it. "See you never! Ha ha!" I yelled excitedly, and holding the syringe tight in my fist, I ran towards the entrance. The darkness outside looked so welcoming to me. I sprinted out of the manor, hoping the darkness would conceal my existence from evil. Doctor in the house, solve the puzzle of the syringes, forever and ever. I'm surprised. I'm doing good on him. I got 2 rank S's in my first tries. Hold on. We got a little story mode. I don't really remember that voice I gave him. "Hey, lazy ass. How much longer are you gonna sleep?" "Shh, dumb brother. I don't want to get up yet. Ever since Fluffy's been gone, you've been acting like this. You don't eat anything." "Oh, ever since Fluffy's been gone, you don't eat you've been acting like this. You don't eat anything. You don't go to bed on time. You'll get sick if you keep going like this." "That's none of your business." I just remembered. I heard that the zoo has got some polar bears recently. Wanna go take a look?" "Polar bears? There have always been polar bears at the zoo." "Oh, but these are not just common polar bears. I heard that they're released from a Brazilian zoo, and they have green fur." "Really?" "Really. The zoo has even double the price of their tickets. If you come with me today, I'll pay for the tickets. The bears are only here for a few days. It will be a shame to miss them. What do you say?" Just music. "It was just a dream. I knew it. When did I ever have a brother? Oh, what time is it now?" "It's only 10? Still quite early. I should find something to kill time." Oh, I can click on something. I can click on this doll. Click on this draw. I can click on that book. Those letters. Oh, those letters. "It is the master's job to handle these letters and help the..." Oh, oops, wrong voice. "It was the master's job to handle these letters and help the humans. He always stacks the ones that he has right on the shelf. Every time I bring him tea and snacks, I secretly take one with me to read in my spare time. He never notices 1 or 2 missing out of so many. Although, I'm surprised by how many I've collected. It's a miracle that he hasn't called me yet. Wait, there seems to be a note in the middle of these letters. In the middle of the letters. Omnidimensional probability generator. Instruction manual. What is this? Seems like the manual to some machine. Attention. Do not misplace the investigator pen. 2. All requests must be entered as text. 3. All descriptions in the request must be objectively accurate. 4. The energy consumption is irreversible. The doodle sketch on this note looks a lot like Master's Master's writing. There's more below. Addendums. Sample applications.
telepathy. The user who holds the investigator in an isolated environment is able to exhibit identical behavior to someone external to the environment. This feature is achieved by modifying the target's behavior to be identical to the user's behavior, not by reading the target's mind. Divination memory tampering. The user who holds the investigator is able to foresee other people's future behaviors and reveal the past of unknown strangers. This feature is implemented by modifying the target's future behaviors or past history. It cannot actually predict the future or tamper with one's memories. Warning: altering objective past events could lead to unpredictable chain events. Please operate with extreme caution. This sounds like what Master's been doing. Oh, there's more. Resurrection. If it is possible to identify the objective events that have led to the target's death, that death can be prevented by altering the causal links among the chain of events. Teleportation. Ability to teleport. The distance of teleportation does not impact the amount of energy consumed. Time leap. Unverified. Teleportation? That sounds so cool. If I could do it, I would immediately teleport myself to a sunny beach. The view of this place is terrible. Although, what does time leap mean? I don't understand. Weather manipulation. The user who holds the investigator, I see you saying investigator. Instigator, that's the name. Instigator is capable of changing the weather and geographical features of a location. Warning: using this feature may consume a significant amount of energy and even potentially destroy the ecosystem. Please operate with extreme caution. Transfiguration. The person who holds the instigator can change the appearance or that of others. Unlike standard transfiguration, this feature allows the user to change into another species entirely, like a cat or a dog. Change into a dog. Is that why Master can speak? No, what am I thinking? This notice probably is confused musings of an extremely bored and imaginative person. Master can speak because he's a god. And why would a god need a machine?
Yeah, there's something going on with this. This is weird. This is very weird. I'm like, I don't think we're actually gods. Okay, that was interesting. Let's look in this book.
It's a photo album. Why aren't there any photos inside?
Okay.
What's this? Is it a storage box? I don't know how to open it. What exactly is this? It's just a dice. Why did I think it was something else? Was I hallucinating? Oh well.
That's suspicious too. Okay, let's look at this doll. Anything else on this we need to be looking at? Also look outside too. Okay. Okay. Let's look at that.
This is my favorite doll, Buka. Although I've been feeling that it hasn't always been there. How long has she been here? Oh well, it don't really matter. I'm glad you're all here with me. When did I pile all these books on the floor? Let me see what they are. The Story of the Isle of Dogs. Midnight Convenience Store. 8428 at Deep. Square Lightning. The Assassin. Probability, random variables, and stochastic processes. I don't remember having any of these books. I know I have forgotten many things, but that last one doesn't seem like a book I would read. Could it belong to someone else? But there's no one else here beside me and Master. Must be his then. There's a lot of dog hair on this pillow. Is it Master's hair?
And then I think it's the last thing.
The view outside is still so upsetting. Everything is red and it's still snowing. When will it stop?
Oh, something else still here. Got to look at. Oh, the vines.
By the way, I don't think I've ever watered this. How is it still growing so well?
Okay. That didn't finish. Anything else on the shelf I should look at? Would I like a flower bouquet? Yeah. And if I had to choose, I would probably say southern magnolias, gardenias, camellias, hydrangeas, those are the ones that come to mind so far. Southern magnolias are indigenous flower to the United States, to the southern United States. Yeah, yeah, like the southern magnolia is like iconic southern flower, so it would be, you know, natural for me as a southern gentleman to have a magnolia. And then gardenias are common flower, also grown in the south, along with camellias, the Japanese camellia, and hydrangeas, azaleas as well. Those are all very traditional flowers grown in the south. But the magnolia is like the most iconic southern flower. If you've ever seen Princess and the Frog, you might have remembered, in English at least, Charlotte LaBeouf, she said to Tiana, Tiana, that's how you pronounce her name, Tiana, she said,
"Oh, aren't you just pretty as a magnolia in May?"
Yeah. When Tiana had her dress ruined and she went to change into her blue dress in Charlotte's room, Charlotte came in and was talking, and she realized how pretty Tiana was. She was like, "Oh, aren't you just as pretty as a magnolia in May?" What else? Anything else? I don't see anything else I have to click on.
I wonder what snow tastes like.
I'm stuck in this room for some reason. I don't see. Do y'all see anything light up when I move this mouse around? I don't see anything else. Books. Oh, here's another one.
The Story of Inu-Koku. That sounds interesting. I'll get a read tonight.
Okay, none new. I don't know. I don't see anything else. Ain't nothing else to look at. I've looked at everything. What transportation would I use to get to the mansion? A horse-drawn carriage or walk-in? Probably a horse-drawn carriage would make more sense than to walk. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I don't know. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look at the walkthrough. Cause I must be blind or something like that. Because I'm very confused. Okay, this walkthrough doesn't have like the non-letter elements. Oh, here we go. I was like, what am I supposed to do now? Okay, arrow. I didn't even notice that.
Ah, it's that late already? I should go to the kitchen now and Master will scold me. Should I make some osmanthus cakes or pumpkin cookies today? Master prefers pumpkin cookies, but I like osmanthus cakes better. Hey, maybe I should roll the dice. Yes, if I get more than one, I'll make osmanthus cake. The dice circle around the table before finally stopping, with none but one big red dot facing up. Okay, fine. I'll make some osmanthus cakes tonight.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We got some more letters. Oh, got some from Spada as well. I had no idea how to fix this. But anyway, we'll just continue with Jim and Spada. I have been toyed with by an infamous and psychopathic serial killer. Yet somehow, I was still able to live to tell the tale. It was probably the greatest achievement of my entire life, now and forever. I'd hope I could just file a police report and get back to my normal life. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't. But I was too naive. The police sent an officer to investigate my claims, and he asked me to accompany him. But the investigation turned out to be very dispiriting. The heavy rain and landslides overnight had washed away all of the evidence from where Pi and I had first met. The warehouse that had been used to imprison me belonged to a key factory that had gone bankrupt a long time ago. No useful clues were made in the warehouse except for my own fingerprints. The gate to the Apple Manor was locked. According to the official records, the owner had gone abroad a few years ago. We were not allowed to enter without a warrant. But when I was in the bathroom of the police station, I overheard something that depressed me even more. About that young unemployed man. He said that he was unwilling to tell his family about the case. Don't you think that's a little suspicious? Exactly! What he told us was so outlandish. Besides the serial killer who could easily take out a professional boxer, how would he possibly let such an otaku escape? There's more. He said that he heard the voice of Pi and that it sounded like... What was it exactly? Oh right, a vampire. What a hoot. Maybe he's a junkie, who knows? So many young people these days just don't want to get a real job. They live off of their rich family, just mess around with drugs. You should look into him instead, I think. What about his case then? That's why this irritates me so much when I see police do things like that. They don't take things seriously and do whatever they want. Okay, that's nice. That's so irritating. Just tell him we'll keep investigating, you know, the usual nonsense. In any case, don't bother with it too much. We're not in charge of Pi's cases anyway. I don't want to waste my time on this. I sat on the toilet, totally stunned. I thought as long as I told everything to the police,
they would surely be able to follow the leads and capture Pi. I thought they would at least be able to protect me, but now I had nothing but contempt for these useless police. Nothing but contempt. And even more contempt. Fine. If you people don't believe me, I'll prove it myself. I hacked into the surveillance system of Apple Manor. There was indeed not a living soul in the manor. Everything had been meticulously cleaned up by Pi. When I was about to exit the system and clean up any traces of my invasion, I accidentally noticed a video file named after me in the storage system. Downloading, playing. I thought it'd be a video about me, but it was just a short video that lasted only for a few seconds. Oh my, that's frightening. I will find you again. I let out a scream and dropped my favorite spare spotty mug. I keep saying spare. Sarah spotty mug. It was smashed into pieces. What was worse was that video reminded me of the time that Pi kidnapped me from home while I was asleep. I was basically a pathetic lamb waiting to be slaughtered if I just stayed at home like this. Should I call the police? Don't be silly. They would never take me seriously until I became a dead body. Should I leave Hong Kong? But then it'll be like the time when I left Beijing all over again. Perhaps I had to admit to myself that I was a complete and utter loser. In my senior year, I had a huge crush on a lovely girl. I had stalked her. Gosh. Taken photos in secret. And written her anonymous letters. I never had the courage to simply tell her how I felt face to face. Then the photos I took were exposed online, causing her tons of trouble. I remember the day when those photos had been posted. 2 boys from the lower grade were harassing her. I gathered all of my courage and went up to stop them, thinking that I would teach them a lesson. As it turned out, I was the one who was then dragged into a bike parking area and beaten up. That was probably the bravest thing I'd ever done in my entire life. I'd always been weak and useless. I wasn't able to help her win a tennis match. I couldn't appreciate an art exhibition. I didn't protect her when she was taken away by bad people. I didn't take her to the hospital when she was ill and passed out. I couldn't even teach some punks from lower grade a lesson. How would it even be possible for her to like someone like me? Eventually, I gave up on telling her how I felt. Instead, I ran back to Hong Kong after graduation. No, I'm so sad. Even though he was kind of a creep a little bit. I'm so sad. I want her to be with him, and he's still alive and ain't got no terminal illness. He's better for her than Mr. Wen. Mr. Wen's gonna die, and I can't save him. Mr. Wen's like how old? Like, what is it? Is it 6? No, 17. 17 years older than her. Met her as a high school teacher. Goodness gracious. I also declined all the jobs that father had found for me. It wasn't that I didn't like those jobs. I was just worried that if I screwed up, father would know about it and I would get scolded by him. But then I never really went out looking for jobs myself either. Eventually, I became a pathetic otaku. I was still good at playing video games, but the only reason was that in the game I would never have to deal with any real responsibilities, win or lose. I've been running away for my entire life. Where could I even run away to this time? So I really want to hide in the digital world again? I stared at Pi's short message, completely focused. For 5 hours, from noon until sunset, I finally made up my mind. I took a deep breath and dropped the throw pillow onto the floor. A few minutes later, I recorded a video of myself too, with my own message. Come at me, bastard. Uploading. Wow, okay, Pa. Not Pa, okay, Jimmy.
Got some guts. For the next 3 days, I gathered everything I could find about Pi on the internet, from rumors in random forums to internal archives in the Hong Kong Police Department Criminal Division. Like a detective on a TV show, I had written down all the tips on post-it notes. I then pinned it up on a board and connected the clues with threads. The common characteristics shared among Pi's chosen targets: 1. Sadistic. 2. Male. 3. Some kind of abnormal perversion. Pi's own traits: 1. Only use knives. 2. Preferred to strike at places that the victims frequented, like their own homes or workplaces, so that it could be quickly discovered and serve as some sort of warning. 3. Preferred to strike during unusual hours of the day. If there wasn't a suitable time window or the time window was too short, he would strike at another location and transport the body to his preferred location later. 4. Depending on the sins or fetishes of the victims, Pi would always perform some ritual either before or after the attack. To inflict maximum suffering upon the victim, it was typically done before. 5. Afterwards, he would always thoroughly clean up the crime scene. 6. He would always leave his own trademark, a smiley face, yeah. Pi must have been a patient, meticulous, and intelligent person. Now that I hold up myself at home, he must be getting ready to come and get me. I had to even be more prepared and ready for when he eventually did. I decided to never set one foot out of my door again and relied solely on home deliveries. Whenever the food was delivered, I would tell the guy to leave the food at the door. I would only open the door when I could make sure that nobody was outside, and I would leave my bags of trash out when I brought out my food. I had heard some ladies yelling about me leaving the garbage out in the hallway, but I had no other choice. If I went downstairs to dump my garbage, Pi would be sure to find an opportunity to kill me. If I didn't throw the garbage away, and if Pi didn't show up for 6 months, I would probably be crushed by my own trash before he killed me. It was a matter of life and death. I didn't want to be remembered as the first person in Hong Kong to ever killed by his own garbage. Of course, I also installed a full homemade alarm system in my home, and I never went to bed without a knife and pepper spray in my hands. This had been my life for 2 months. It was a Tuesday. As usual, I had called for my delivery and I was watching anime on my computer as I waited for my dinner. The bell to my apartment rang. The delivery guy showed up in the monitor. "Come on up, just leave the bag at the door." I did not know that, actually. A geep? I wish they could choose a better name for that. I don't know, geep doesn't sound like the best name. My adrenaline level had risen to the highest it's ever been. For the last 2 months, I'd only ever ordered deliveries from Pizza Hut. Instead of Pizza Hut. I love that. The closest one to my place had a total of 28 employees, 7 of whom would be out doing deliveries. Lefty, Nima, Uncle Quan, Terry, Sunny, plus 2 cooks who would occasionally did the legwork too, Sister Wang and Brother Fang. I remembered everything about them. I could even tell the distance between the mole on Sister Wang's face and the corner of her mouth in millimeters. That's crazy. The delivery guy downstairs had a mole at the corner of his eye and incredibly pale skin. He was obviously not one of those 7 people. Meanwhile, Pizza Hut hadn't hired a new employee for 2 whole years, as business hadn't been going too well for them. Moreover, the manager, Old Lou, had always hated good-looking young men. He would never have hired some new guy like this. I logged into the surveillance system and ran some programs. My PDA screen immediately started showing video from a hidden camera. On the screen, I got it from my computer and walked into the bathroom. The screen then switched to the view inside the bathroom. I started to undress, stepped into the bathtub, and closed the shower curtain. The screen switched again, to what was behind the shower curtain. A naked me turned on the shower. Outside of the screen, though, I was still sitting in front of my computer. Oh, okay, I see. He's messing with the security cameras. Based on the games Pi had played with me, I was confident that Pi must be a competent hacker himself. Chances were that he was doing a PDA right now and looking at the exact same video while he was coming up the stairs. I grabbed the knife and the pepper spray. I walked into the bathroom. I turned on the shower. I closed the shower curtain. I turned to the laundry basket sitting in the corner. I bought it especially for today. It was an extra large one, large enough to hide an entire person. Suddenly, I felt like I had forgotten something important. I opened the lid. Shit! Not now! Uh-oh. I would always carelessly throw my dirty clothes into the basket every time I changed out of them, telling myself that I would do the laundry next time. But I had forgotten that after 2 months of never actually doing the laundry, the basket was now full. Crap! If I pulled out the dirty clothes and dumped them on the floor, Pi would be sure to notice that something was suspicious. Well, Rocky used to always mock me about this. Now I was paying for it. Time kept ticking ahead. Right at this moment, Pi was probably already standing at my door and getting out his key to unlock the door. What should I do? Was there anything else in the bathroom that I could hide inside? The toilet? How on earth could I hide inside that? All of a sudden, the bathroom door was slowly pushed open. It was Pi, standing at the doorway, carrying a pizza box, looking right at me. He tipped the pizza hat that was on his head and smiled at me like a true gentleman. Long time no see. I panicked, and I even forgot that I had a knife in my hand. I just nervously raised the pepper spray like an idiot. But Pi was faster. He put out a can of God knows what and immediately sprayed it all over my face. How could this have happened? I had planned so carefully, waited for so long, and yet I still ended up like this. Was it my fate to die at his hands? When my consciousness finally returned to this world, Pi was standing right in front of me. This time, there was no costume, no mask, no voice modulator. You must have thought that I would just kill you in your own home and just finish it all, right? Well, to be honest, the games that we played together were really enjoyable, so it'd be a shame to just kill you off like that. In return, I've made some special arrangements for you just this time. An even more spectacular arcade. He gestured behind him. It wasn't a very large room, but I could see all kinds of horrifying tools and devices everywhere. This time, the game will be played on Nightmare level. Jimmy. Oof. Okay. Let's talk to Spotty again, this cute little cat that I missed. For a homeless cat, fresh water is one of the biggest challenges we have to face. The puddles on the road were out of the question. They're too dirty. The water in the fish tanks at the seafood store isn't bad, but if the owner catches me, he chases me off. Aside from those, there was another good option. The water inside something that humans call a toilet. The water there has a slow and steady flow, which always produces the best quality. Every homeless cat has their own favorite drinking spot. So did I. There was a big building not too far away from the street. Most humans go into that building wore uniforms. Some would even salute one another. Speaking of which, why do humans poke themselves in the eyes with their fingers to show their respect? On the south side of the building, on the first floor, there was a small window that was always open. I often sneaked into the building through it, and there was a toilet behind that window. If I crawled under the door opposite the toilet, I could see more toilets. The two-legged monkeys spent so much effort that they would just take a dump. What a waste! Tonight, I jumped through the window on the first floor as usual. It was a very quiet bathroom. I could see the moon through the window, which filled the room with silver moonlight. I stood up on the rim of the toilet and drank. I tumbled into the toilet, and then the toilet lid dropped with a bang. I jumped upwards. Another bang. My head hit on the lid, but it didn't open. Uh-oh. Oh, poor Spotty. Thank you for the magnolia flower. Appreciate it. Eh? 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 Have I become too old to stand still now? Somebody help me! Meow! Meow! It was pitch black in the toilet. I pushed my paw through the gap under the lid and wiggled, hoping desperately that someone would see it and help me. But all I could hear was myself, some flies buzzing in the bathroom. Had all the humans all gone home after work? I struggled for a while until I was totally exhausted. The room quieted down. I thought of the house cats that I despised. If one of them fell into the toilet in his own house, his humans would have gotten them out by now for sure. And then he would take a nice bath and be wrapped in a warm blanket. Maybe his humans would even play some music and sing for him. I began humming to myself without even realizing it, before shutting myself up when I heard how off-key I was. Spotty. Geek in the Shell. Complete the profile of Jimmy. How about we put all of this on his side? Seems like a terrible idea though, now that I think about it. I was drinking when I heard a loud engine booming outside the window. It was a kind of sound that could only be produced by one of the human-made machines. Even the window of the bathroom began shaking because of the noise. After a few seconds, the open window pane was shaken shut. Oh no! And the door of the room was closed too. There was no one inside. I knocked on the door, hoping to hear from someone on the other side of the door, but it seemed like there was no one left either. Had the humans all gone home after work? Do I have to wait here until morning? No, no, no! Meow! Oh, poor Spotty. Something incredible and weird had happened. In a panic, I put one foot into the toilet, but it somehow sucked my entire body inside. A huge noise immediately followed. I could see nothing but darkness. From a scientific point of view, this was absolutely ridiculous and impossible. One of my favorite fast food restaurants? I would say maybe Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, sometimes I've eaten at Burger King or Taco Bell, but I don't really eat at Burger King or Taco Bell. I don't even really eat at Wendy's, to be honest, but I would choose Wendy's over Burger King or Taco Bell. That's all I can think of so far, but I don't really eat at fast food restaurants that often. I don't know. Would you say that, like, Chipotle is fast food? I don't know if that's fast food. Might be. Maybe Chipotle. I like going to shawarma places, but I don't really think that's fast food. Okay. Yet there was no other reasonable explanation. My body had just shrunk. My back was against the cool, slippery arch-shaped ceramic wall. It was also sticking to the wall because of some slimy, smelly, and muddy stuff. Ew. Before my brain could get a chance to process all of this, I was suddenly blinded by a sudden burst of light. The sight I had just seen had me gasping in shock. Ew. This is disgusting. A low, muffled voice came from above. I saw a pale face with blue eyes appear, an oval-shaped gasp. Fortunately for me, Pi didn't see me. Unfortunately, though, he was reaching for the button on the water tank. Wait, no! A huge booming sound came from nowhere above me. Several torrential streams burned here. He grabbed me by the back of my neck with a disgusted look on his face. He threw me out the window that I had come in from. I thought I would land on some grass. What I didn't expect was that a gigantic human-made metal machine had been parked outside the window. One of my front paws hit the machine so hard that it almost got broken. Damn it! If I I were younger, I would have easily scored a perfect landing. I massaged my paw and was getting ready to leave. That was when I saw Blackie, whom I haven't seen for a long time. He seemed to have matured a lot and wasn't as intimidating as I once remembered. He said he no longer cared about whether humans preferred dogs or cats. Survival was all that mattered to him. He also told me that his old turf, the pipe in the empty lot, had been taken over by some stinky cat named Gigi. Gigi was a glutton. He'd always make the other cats bring him food. They were not even allowed into the lot unless they brought him some tribute. Now the lot always smelled like dead rats. Because of this, the humans living nearby had called people from a homeless animal shelter and had taken away many homeless cats. You should be careful. Before he could finish his sentence, Blackie was trapped inside a net. I saw two humans in uniforms holding a bag and a trap net. One was fat and the other was very thin. They were standing only a meter away from me. I had to temporarily forget about the pain in my paw and climbed up a nearby tree as fast as I catly could. I then jumped onto the edge of a roof. Fortunately, I was able to get away. Farewell, Blackie. Okay. I had no choice but to follow my original plan. I pulled out half of the dirty clothes and tossed them aside. Then I climbed to the basket and closed the lid. I tried to observe what was going on through the holes in the wicker basket. The bathroom door was pushed open. A slim but menacing figure walked in. I held my breath, my knife and pepper spray tied in my hands. May the goddess bless me, 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 may the goddess bless me. I slowly crouched down. He stared at the holes in the basket. His expression went from suspicious to certain. Long time no see. The goddess had forsaken me once again. Why? Why? I stood up from the basket screaming and stabbed him with my knife in my hand. Pie casually blocked the knife with a pizza box. There wasn't pizza inside the box, but something metal. He had been well prepared all along. He raised a can of God knows what in his other hand, and sprayed it all over my face. How could this have happened? I planned so carefully, waited for so long, yet I still ended up like this. Was it my fate to die at his hands? Okay, this probably ends the same exact way. Yep. Okay, messed up. Being. Bad. Okay. A man pushed open the door and walked in while on his phone. He saw me standing on the toilet, did a double take, and walked into the next stall. He was still on his phone while doing his business. Keep a close eye on it for me for the next couple of days. Call me immediately. I was about to drink some more when I heard a loud engine booming outside the window. It was a kind of sound that could only be produced by one of those human-made machines. Even the window of the bathroom began shaking because of the noise. After a few seconds, the open window pane was shaken shut. Oh no! But I was a lucky Spotty. The man had just finished his business. He was walking out, still on his phone. I shrewdly, followed him and left the bathroom. Okay, something weird's happening again. Let's see if this changes anything. Something incredible and weird happened. In a panic, I put one foot into the toilet, but somehow sucked my entire body inside. A huge noise immediately followed, and I could see nothing but darkness. From a scientific point of view, this was absolutely ridiculous and impossible, yet there was no other reasonable explanation. My body had just shrunk. To keep myself from sliding down further, I jumped upward as hard as I could. My head bumped into something, but surprisingly didn't stop me. I landed next to the toilet. Aside from smelling a little, my body seemed to have changed back to normal. After a brief period, I realized that this must have been a blessing from the goddess of fortune. She had given me a place to hide. Pi had entered the apartment. I didn't have much time for anything else. I quickly grabbed a rope I had lying around and stepped into the toilet one more time, turning into a Lilliputian. I hid in the toilet, and I saw Pi walk into the bathroom. He looked like a giant to me. I could see every fiber on his Pizza Hut uniform, every blonde hair on his arm, and every long eyelash around his eyes. Pi looked around. He even checked the laundry basket. My heart skipped a few beats. Thank God I wasn't hiding in there. Finally, he grabbed a shower curtain with his hand, but he didn't immediately pull it open. It couldn't be. Did he immediately see through my setup? However, the goddess awarded me another blessing. Pi sneezed. Yes, he just sneezed. He involuntarily pulled the shower curtain and unveiled the trap that I had set up. A huge amount of liquid suddenly ejected from the wall. Pi was pushed back by the power of the eruption, then he slipped and fell into the ground. He covered his face with his hands and started screaming in pain. It was not just regular pepper spray, it was my personal invention. I filled in a fire extinguisher with jalapeno water and pepper spray, and I named it the Super Awesome Anti-Pi Spray Machine. Both the power and the simulation were absolutely top notch. I jumped back out of the toilet. My body returned to normal once again. Then I picked up the lid of the water tank and smashed onto his head as hard as I could. But a small world. The officers who came to my apartment were the same ones who had been suspicious of me. The one who wanted to investigate me even gave me a meaningful look before they left. Of course, they didn't say anything else except to politely thank me for my assistance. And I, of course, politely gave them the finger. After I sent the police away, the next day the news of Pi being captured was everywhere. They even published Pi's family background and history, although no one knew if it was true or not. Whatever the case, I couldn't care any less. Upon my firm insistence, the police agreed not to unveil the truth of how Pi had been captured. I didn't want to be in the paper once again. The world was full of surprises, but life still went on. I did a thorough cleaning of my apartment. I even cleaned the dust that had been piling up in my computer case for years. Looking at my nice and sparkling clean room, I felt like my mood was finally brightening up too. I stayed inside for a few more days. Then I went and visited my parents. I also visited a lot of places around Hong Kong. Everywhere I went, I would go and check the bathroom there. I would try to jump into the toilet and then jump out again. Of course, I only chose the ones that looked clean. Yay, he's using the cow emojis again. But boy, don't mess up your shoes. Despite still not knowing how it happened that day, I had indeed gained a special power. Furthermore, I had a new hypothesis too. What if a toilet was not connected to the sewer? What if, at the bottom of the toilet, was simply another opening? Would I be able to stay shrunk and still move around? Ever since I had this thought, I began to often get too excited to fall asleep at night. I would lie on the bed and stare at my collection of Marvel comic books on the shelf and start fantasizing. Now that I had the superpower, I had this special responsibility as well, right? And then unquoted, Jimmy accidentally obtained his superpower with me. Aw, he's done. Aw, Jimmy's done. He has a superpower. Aw, I miss Jimmy. That's unfortunate.
Porque siempre me pasa esto.
We got another letter from Carlos that we will go investigate later on. Also, we can get also this ending. But we'll do that next time. We'll do it in the next stream. Hopefully next Monday. Oh, we finished Jimmy. I'm so sad. I like Jimmy. Oh. He just gains a superpower like that, just like a Shonen Pro tag, and that's it. His story ends like that. Oh well. Save. Let's save. Do we have more save files, or do I have to save over some stuff? Nope. It's the last one. I have to save over some other things. Okay, but yeah, this is the end. For now, until next time. I'm gonna look at Carlos and go try to get the good ending for Changyun Min, because we can get it now, as y'all can see. So yeah, tomorrow we should also stream again. Tomorrow to play Nameless, the one thing you must recall, to try to avoid Yuri's bad ending again. I think I'm gonna try not to look at the walkthrough for the bad endings. I think I'm just gonna try to see if I can tweak my answers a little bit to try to get on the good route. But yeah, and then Friday for Danganronpa Mauve, and then this Sunday we'll see what we do this Sunday. But I'm gonna do something a little different this Sunday, so y'all stay tuned for that. And if y'all have not watched my cover song, I would really appreciate if y'all will go and check out my cover song, my newest one, The Vampire by Deco 27. It just released today, so if y'all give it a listen, like it, and comment what y'all think, I would really appreciate it. So yeah, again, thank y'all very kindly for coming. Much obliged, as I've already said. And I hope to see y'all later. Yeah, hope to see y'all later. Y'all come back, now you heard me.